Hey guys, this is Phoenix and I'm back with another 1.7 modding tutorial. Today we're going to go back to dealing with items. More specifically, we're going to start on working with our tools. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to create a new class file to handle our items or our tool materials. So in order to do that, we're going to come to Rio or your tutorial mod package, create a new package called enums. Underneath of enum, that was not a package. I apologize. Why would you just get rid of it? Okay, here we go. New package enums. Underneath of enums, we're going to create a new Java class called tool materials. And underneath of here, we are going to create a new tool material. Basically, this is the same way as registering, or not registering, but initializing items and stuff like this. What we're going to do is we're going to say public static void, not void, final. And we're going to call item dot tool material. Is there a reason you're not importing anything here? Yes, there is. It's because you're not even inside of the brackets. There we go. Item dot tool material. And we're going to call this tool material copper. And we're going to say this equals a new enum helper from Minecraft utilities. And we're going to say dot add tool material. And we actually have to provide it a name, which is tool material copper. We also have to provide it a harvest level, a maximum usage. The harvest level would be the same as what we do on like ores and stuff. So it would be 1, I believe it's 1. We can actually go take a look. Add tool material, okay. So this one's a name. This isn't very helpful, is it? Okay, let's see. Constant directory. Add enum tool class, name, harvest level. Add enum, setup, return, add enum. Okay, well, I guess I'll have to explain this. If we go to items, which is here, and we go and look for harvest level. Actually, this is going to be under blocks, isn't it? Init blocks. No, it's not init blocks. It's underneath of actual blocks. Ores, base blocks, blocks, harvest level. Here it is. These are the harvest levels. 0 is wood and gold. 1 is stone. 2 is iron. 3 is diamond. So we're going to set this to be about the strength of stone. So if we go to our item class, we can actually track this one down too. Let's go ahead and to the item class and search for stone pickaxe, which is underneath of an item pickaxe. Maybe not. Tool material stone, here it is. So stone. Here's our stone. So let's go ahead and just copy this data out of here. Copy that. stone, and okay, so if I paste this here, everything should be happy aside from a semicolon on the end. So this last number here is the enchantability. This is how enchantable it is. If we get back over to items, if you look at gold, it's got a value of 22. 22 basically means this is going to get some of the best enchants of all time, no matter what. 5 is a pretty low value, 10, 14, 15. Yeah, so the higher the number, the better, the more likely you are to get a good enchant on it. I'm going to leave it at 5. Stone, this is the damage value. This is how fast it can break a block. I'm going to set mine, because it's kind of between iron and stone, I'm going to set it to 1.5. So we'll go back over to our base enum. Where are you? Tool materials. 1.5. Okay, let me actually just do this real quick. Okay, so the first number here, or the first one here, is the name of the material. The next one is the harvest level, which is 1, so it's going to be able to harvest anything that stone can, so up to iron. The next one is the max usages, how many times you can use it before it breaks. Then there's the efficiency, how fast it can break a block, and how quickly it accumulates damage, followed by how enchantable it is. So how fast it breaks a block is actually going to be 4.5 here. And so that would be a material right there. And you can do this as many times as you need to. This number is arbitrary. You could set 0 if you wanted to be able, if you just want to have a pickaxe to be able to break the simplest blocks. 1 would break anything up to iron. 2 would break anything up to diamond level. If we look underneath the items again, it's just items here. Alright, let me locate tool material. Hang on. Tool harvest level. Okay, here we go. Harvest level. 0, 1, 2, 3 is diamond. So we could set this all the way up to 16. That would be the highest value we could, or 15, I'm sorry. 15 would be the highest value we can bring an enum up to, because it's on a byte system. So we could make ores that require a higher level than iron or than gold, diamond to obtain, and we would be able to make custom tools that would be able to obtain those materials. Let me go back to the enum tool material. So if we set 2 here, it would be as good as iron, 3 would be as good as diamond, 4 would be higher, 5, 6, 7, 8, so on, all the way up to 15. If we go above 15 to like 16, it'll break the system. I would not recommend doing that. 15 would be the highest, but for this we're going to do 1. We're going to change the amount of damage it can take to 200 even. And that's all we have to do for the enum class. So our next step is going to be to create the new items. So we're going to actually go into items base. Items base, we're going to copy our base items class, and we're going to rename it from base items to base items sword. So, and then we're going to change the extends from item to item sword. It's going to ask for a new value. This new value is actually the tool material, so we're just going to put in tool material here. And then here we're going to put in a tool material is tool material. Okay, so we have that. We can actually copy and paste this a couple more times. So we have, I believe, 5 tools. So we have swords, we have axes. So axe, and we just change item to item X. Base item X, we can copy again and we'll rename it to spade. Underneath and change item to item spade. Then after spades we have our hose, H-O-E. So item hoe extends item hoe. I totally wrote that backwards. So we're just going to refactor that and rename it to hoe. And then the last one we have is the pickaxe. So pickaxe. Wow, cannot type today. Pickaxe, there we go. Base item pickaxe. So that's all 5 of our tools. Underneath the pickaxe, we just need to change this from item hoe to item pickaxe. Alright, none of this changes at all. We don't have to worry about anything here at all. Everything here is good. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to close up base here and we're going to create a new Java class for axes. Inside of items, axes is going to extends base item X. Don't need this here. Alt enter will bring up the import and you can create constructor from matching super or create super or create method from, yeah, whatever that is. I just keep skipping right through it. We're going to leave it like this on localized name and tool material, and that's so that we can assign the tool material and keep using this class for everything that we have to do with base tools. Then we're going to go ahead and pretty much do the exact same thing down the line here. We're going to do not that. We're going to do our axes, our pickaxes. Which is going to extend our base item pickaxe. Which means we don't need this one here anymore. So then we're going to do our hose, items, hose. Extends our base items, hose, base item, items, hose, hoe. Okay. Okay, so we have our axes, hose, pickaxes. Axes, hose, pickaxes, so we still need the spades and swords. So we'll do one for spades. Base item spade. And the last one we're going to do here is sword item. Okay. Oh, right. I actually have to rename it to sword. Swords. And this is base items sword. Okay. So that's all we have to do with these. We have our new class systems running here. And the reason you do this is in case you want to put these in different creative tabs. You could literally just kind of just use the base class if you wanted. It's good practice to have a base class, because what if at some point you want to create a core mod? You can literally just copy these out and change like one parameter in it if you want to do that. So that's why you do it that way, and then you'd be able to reference these. You just have to build these and reference the base item spade in your core mod in order to be able to use it. But this is just generally good practice. So underneath of our init items, we're going to actually create new systems. So public static final base items, we're going to call for sword, base item sword, sword copper equals new swords sword copper, and we're going to call for our tool material, well, our tool material, which is under tool materials dot tool material copper. And we can just go ahead and copy this, put a new one here. Actually, we'll put 5 down because we're just going to change a couple words here. Sword to spade. From sword copper, we're going to rename this to spade copper. And we'll change this to spade copper as well. We're going to change sword, or this, the next one down, we're going to make one for our axis. So, not that. Okay. Axe. Let's just import that. Equals new spades. There we go. And this is going to be axe, axe, axes, and axe. Then we're going to do our hoe, or our pickaxe here. Pickaxe. So instead of sword, it's going to be pickaxe. Pickaxe, pickaxe. Pickaxes everywhere. Pickaxe. And pickaxe. Underneath, then the last one we're going to do this for is our hoe. 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 Hose. Hoe. Okay. The reason I'm spacing these is because they're technically different. Ingots. Swords. Spades. Axes. Pickaxes. And hoes. Okay. So next thing that we're going to do is we're going to come down to our register items. And we're going to copy this. We're going to change ingots to swords. You can actually pull this off to the side here. Let me just shrink this. Not what I wanted. I wanted the init items, which I can then pull off here. Okay, so init items, and then register items. I'll drop this back and this back so you guys can actually see. Now, we're doing swords right now, so we need to change ingot copper to sword copper, and we'll just change this to sword. And then we can just copy this one straight down. We'll do another one here. That's too many, I believe, by 1. So sword. Nope, that actually wasn't. That's exactly what I needed right there. Okay, so we'll do sword. Then we have our spade. There's spades. We have our axes. We have our pickaxes. And we have our hoes. We just have to change this to hoe copper. Hoe copper. Pickaxe copper. And pickaxe copper. This is, in reality, creating this many tools one one of each type of tool is just straight tedium. It's not really difficult in any way, shape, or form. So X copper, and finally spade copper, spade copper. Okay, so now the last thing that we need to do before we deal with items is we need to come down to tutorial mod and register these. So right here is where we're registering items. I usually categorize these differently than items. I usually create a new log and say registering tools. And then I'll do a register items dot sword, register items dot spade, register items dot axe, axes, register items dot pickaxes, and register items dot hoe. There we go. Okay, so that's where we're registering our items at. Anytime we make a new item, we can register it in the exact same place. I actually have some images already made up here that I'm going to use. So I'm going to make sure that I rename these to axe copper. I recolored iron stuff to get these. So that's why they're all iron underscore. And I'm going to use hoe copper. We're going to do pickaxe copper. And spade copper. And sword copper. And these actually, we're just going to right click on our assets tutorial mod textures folder here. And we're going to say show in folder or show in explorer. And underneath textures, items, we're just going to drag and drop these guys in. Okay, so that's all we have to do for that. If we go ahead and hit play, it's going to load things up for us. Yeah, I don't even know why you bother popping up, you stupid. Okay, whatever. Let's go ahead and jump into a test world, our test world real quick. We still don't have these registering correctly to tabs yet. So if we were in game mode 0, my bad. Game mode 1. We haven't set up the tabs yet. We will do that in a little bit, probably a little later. But we can still get it by saying give player tutorial mod. We're going to give ourselves a sword. We're going to give ourselves a spade. We're going to give ourselves a hoe, sword or hoe. We're going to give ourselves an axe. And a pickaxe. Okay. So we don't need these. So we have our sword here. If I go back to game mode 0, that does break leaves faster. I can actually grab some spider webs. Game mode 0. Whatever. Give player 404 Minecraft. I think it's just web. Spider eye. Yeah, let's just try web. I'll just give myself like 3 more of those. Okay, so if we punch that, it's not going to really do anything, but if we pull out our sword, it should break it into string for us. You'll notice that it is taking damage. I can actually tell you, I will just do F3H so you guys can see it. Our durability is actually set at 200. When we break stuff, it will go down. I believe it goes down too if you break a material that you shouldn't be breaking. Our axe is gonna work just fine. Our shovel should work also. Hose. Okay, so that's that. And then our pickaxe should also work as intended. I'll have to pull out some stuff from creative mode so that I can actually demonstrate it, but it will break blocks just fine. But I don't see any ore around here. We set this to 1, which means that it'll be able to break iron, but it won't be able to break diamond. So let's go ahead and game mode 1. We're going to pull out one of each ore. I've already showed you these work, it doesn't matter. Okay, so one of each ore here. So there's gold, lapis, diamond, redstone. Let's grab this back. Alright, now I'm just going to place one of each. Okay. Okay. So, game mode 0. Okay, so if we go to break gold, we should not be able to. It'll actually just pop off and be nothing. But iron we should be able to break and get an item return. Coal gets an item return. We get lapis because that's a lower mining level. We will not get redstone. That'll just break. We will not get diamond. However, we will also not get this. But I believe we do actually get the quartz. Yeah, we get the quartz. So, a lot of the ores will break, except for the few basics. We can also use that here on this, and that'll drop itself. We haven't set a harvest level for this yet, but it will actually work once we set a harvest level. If we set it higher than this, than 1, this will not break with this pickaxe. So yeah, that is how you create one of every tool in Minecraft. I hope you guys learned. I'm sorry this was kind of a boring episode, but creating that many tools is kind of tedious. Just 5 tools is like unbearably annoying because you have to create 10 classes for it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you guys in the next episode. So yeah, see ya.